Hey guys, welcome to Sugoi Cast. Today will be introductions. We're all friends who met on the Weeaboo dating website, also known as My Anime List, or MAL for short. Go ahead, Misty.
Yeah, basically, yeah, just an anime podcast. We get together, do talks about seasonal stuff, reviews of, already finished anime, maybe some rants or general opinions or topics, themes, stuff like that. Just whatever we feel like talking about, and hopefully you'll want to listen to us rabble on for hours.
And before anything else, let's just introduce the cast a little bit. So first, that was Hunter,
Hello.
right? Also known as a Hunter. And then there's me, Blue. And then, who's next? Who wants to introduce?
Well,
Man, this is a mess.
I will. And I'm Ryan. I'm the stereotypical Brit of this whole podcast, so
He's probably drinking tea right now.
yeah,
I am actually, yeah.
And yeah, my name is Patrick, but you can call me Misty, short from Mr. Fire. So there you go.
Today we're just gonna be talking about how we got into anime, what our favorite genres are, so on, so on. I got into anime about a year and a half ago. Well, ever since I was a kid, my dad showed me the first anime movie I watched was Howl's Moving Castle. I think that was the first anime that I actually watched was Howl's Moving Castle, and it was like just overall I loved it. I still love it. It has some safe place in my heart, one of my favorites. But I also thought Naruto was kind of cool. Binged that in one sitting at one point, and then one of my friends introduced Soul Eater to me. Soul Eater, yeah. And I watched that in one sitting, or not one sitting, but over a couple of days. I loved it. And about a year and a half ago, the same friend who introduced Soul Eater to me asked me, like, hey, do you want to come watch anime with me? Like, we could do this, both get a new series. I'm like, sure, why not? First thing we watched was Madoka Magica. I do not recommend that as a first anime. That just to be clear, I do not recommend that. That is a
No.
very difficult first anime. I cried. I know I didn't cry. I cried a little bit. I teared up. It was kind of emotional for the first anime, and then we got into Attack on Titan, at HK, Higurashi, so on and so on. And since then, I've been watching anime, and right now I have 90 completed anime in a year and a half. That's not bad. It's pretty good. How about you guys?
Alright, well, me, Blue here, by the way. And, I was raised in Asian country, and, like, over there, like, manga and anime, it's pretty popular, right? Because, like, Japan is so close by. And, like, ever since I was a kid, I bought, like, monthly mangas that, like, was, like, more towards, like, kids. I don't know if anyone knows Doraemon. That was really popular. It's, like, a slice of life comedy
I've heard of
that
it.
was, like, really popular for kids. And, like, after reading a lot of manga, I started, like, watching on TV, right? Like, shows that were popular, too. Like, back then it was, like, Digimon Adventure, Pokemon, Cardcaptor Sakura, and Sailor Moon. Like, those were, like, the big popular ones.
Every kid's fetish.
hmm But then, like, as I was growing up, like, I kind of, like, stopped watching because it felt like, it's a kid show. Like, it's a kid thing. Like, I'm growing up, I'm gonna watch, like, some more, like, mature stuff and stuff like that. I started reading a lot of books. But then, like, stuff like Naruto was starting to become, like, popular, like, among my friends. So then, like, I was like, I guess I'll start watching it too. But then, like, it always stayed on like the mainstream stuff, like Naruto, Bleach. Like, I wasn't watching like much else. Like, sometimes there was stuff like Fullmetal Alchemist or like Death Note that made like a huge impact like outside the community, and like everybody knows about it, and like everybody has to watch it, right? And but then like a couple of years ago, like after like I graduated from high school, there was like a summer where I was like really bored and like didn't have much to do. So I was like, maybe I should like rewatch like one of like the kid shows I watched because, for nostalgia and everything. And I started watching like Cardcaptor Sakura again, like the whole thing. Even though like I was like, I forgot how old I was. I was like 18, 19. I was watching like a magical girl like anime. But I was like, I still really liked it. Like I remember like the feelings I got when I was a kid watching it. You know, like
How
every
long
week.
is that series, by the way?
It's like
It's a very long
60
one.
episodes, and then it has like movies too,
Are
like
they?
free.
Wait, I heard.
It's a long.
Yeah, it's a classic though, isn't it? Considered more like the classic magical girls anime.
Yeah, because like it'll influence a lot of stuff. Like, but we'll get on that later. But after watching Cardcaptor Sakura, and like my summer wasn't over, and I was like, I gotta watch something else. And in near my library, they had like a collection of like Bleach manga, so I started reading that too. And after that, I was like, okay, I need to find like something like recent that's like popular right now. And I just Googled, you know, because like, okay, what's the top 10 anime right now? And like the two things that popped up for me were Code Geass and Sword Art Online. Sword Art Online was still airing at the time. It was like the summer of 2012. I think Sword Art Online started airing during the spring of 2012, or was it summer of 2012?
What was it?
It was
Shogun?
spring.
Sword Art Online.
Or Sword Art?
Yeah, it was around that time. But since Sword Art Online was still airing, I was like, all right, never mind that. I'm gonna start watching Code Geass. And at first, it was like, I was like, yeah, this is an alright show. But like, as it went on, like, I started getting more and more into it. And then you had the ending, which was like epic. And I was like, all right, this is like amazing.
I want
Like,
more stuff
anime
like it.
is something like I really want to get into. But then like summer was over and like school started and like I got busy with other stuff. I didn't have time to watch anything. And like it was like for like 6 months like I didn't touch any other anime actually. But then like winter holidays came and I was like, oh yeah, there was that one show that I wanted to watch again, Sword Art Online, and by the time I started watching it, it was like it was done airing. It was like just done airing. So I started watching it and I just fell in love with it. Like Sword Art Online was really like my gateway anime to get into like the community and like started looking at YouTube for like reviews of other stuff. The one big reviewer that really got me into it was Gigak from Anime Zone. I watched his review from like Sword Art Online and like I started watching his other stuff that was like pretty popular too. Was like the Monogatari series. His review for that like really caught my attention, and his review for Fate Zero. And like those two like series, like the Fate series and like the Monogatari series, are like still one of my favorite series of all time. After all this time, so after that
That's-
I joined like my anime list. Sorry, you're gonna start?
Well, the thing is, it's kind of interesting to see how different it is everyone's gateway. Because when I was younger, I used to always watch Dragon Ball Z I was basically a religious nut for it. I've got all the games for it, but I never really looked into anime specifically because I've always just focused on Dragon Ball Z and that was it. And then when I was a bit younger, I started watching an anime called Air Gear. I don't know if people watch that.
Yeah, I know that. Wait, you said Air... What?
Air Gear.
Yeah, Air Gear.
Air Gear. It came out in, I think it was '06, but I didn't watch it until much later. And after I watched that, I kind of thought, well, this is an interesting concept. So I started looking around for shows similar, and then since then I've kind of just expanded my horizons and looked at all kinds of different animes and found out my different genres.
And, like, I don't know, a lot of my... The way I got, I guess, into me, I said it already, but, like, watching it with friends was very... I liked spending time with friends. That's what I like to do on my spare time, is hang out with friends, do whatever. And having a friend, like, introduce me to anime, like, you'll want to watch it. I was like, yeah, that's be super tight. And then that friend, sadly, doesn't watch anime anymore. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go off on my own, start watching stuff by myself. And eventually, I was like, okay, this is cool. I like it. I'm like around like my 9th anime finish or whatever. I joined a Steam group for my anime or whatever, and that's how I met Blue. And then from there on, I've completed around 90. Most of them Blue recommended to me.
It was a weird meeting too because like it wasn't like as if like I was like a huge part of the group. It wasn't like I posted a lot of stuff. It was just like I randomly was like, all right, let's see what this group is all about, and I saw your thread and I was like, all right, might as well like answer you and like give you some recommendations, like maybe help you out, get into it more. But then like start talking on Skype, start playing games on Steam a lot, and
CS:GO, all those.
To
memes.
contrast from that a little bit, the more relatively recent like years for me, I kind of experienced anime alone, sadly. But it changed. Like early on, I started with stuff like I'd seen stuff like DBZ, although I didn't really watch it a lot. But mostly like I was really into stuff like Pokemon and Digimon, and I also watched CCS, Cardcaptor Sakura, back then as well. Although the dub of that one was kind of a weird story, and I was watching the dub of it as it aired as a kid.
No, because it wasn't just dubbed. Like they actually like cut scenes and like changed it for like the dub version.
There
'Cause
was
they
some
didn't want
reordering
them-
of episodes and some cutscenes.
Yeah, that too.
Really?
Yep.
I've never seen that. Doesn't
Like they
happen
butchered
anymore,
the
right?
dub version.
That doesn't happen anymore, right?
No,
it's
no.
Okay.
it's a lot less common at least.
Yeah.
But
Well, it can't really happen though, because people generally watch the sub first. So if they watch the dub after it, they'll probably think, "Well, that's cut out. That's cut out." So
This that card capture Sakura actually have a high rating on Mal?
I think it has above an 8.
I think it does. I think it's like top 500
But
at least.
beyond that, like, I mean, I didn't really see that as anime when I was a kid. To me, it was the same thing as the other, like, Saturday morning cartoons or whatever you had. But it's top. It's just under 300. But anyway, after that, like, when I like in my early teenage years, I discovered Slayers, which I still haven't finished, but like it's another one of those kind of like relatively long-ish running action series, and I got really into it, and it kind of that's the first time I really discovered the concept of anime, like coming from this animation coming from Japan, being originally in a different language. I had never watched something like that before. So it sort of piqued my interest, but it wasn't until like a few years ago that I really started to actually get more into it as a hobby. I started getting into watching animation in general as kind of a shameful admission here. I was part of the My Little Pony fandom for a little while. And that's what got me into the idea of animation and watching that kind of stuff. And while I don't really associate with that anymore, the interest of that still stuck with me. So I the girl I was seeing then and am still seeing, who I actually met from the My Little Pony fandom, she's the one that sort of is like, hey, why don't we watch some of these like some anime? So she showed me like Death Note and Ouran Host Club. I don't remember which one came first, but they were really early ones for me, back when I was still like, I don't want to watch the Japanese, I want to watch the dub. The first dub, or first sub rather, I actually watched was Madoka Magica. And that was a very interesting early on anime, but I do still love it. I do still consider it my favorite, and have watched it many, many times.
The dub for it was pretty
Is it
good.
because like a lot of people?
Yeah. The dub is okay. Like, there's a few characters that particularly make me go, I don't like it. Like Kyubey especially. I'm like, no, I like his Japanese voice. But after that, I just I just kept on with my own thing. I've definitely developed a taste for the more like cutesy moe stuff, like K-On! And other moe things. What?
Anohana. Why did I say Anohana? I was thinking of something else. My bad.
Oh, that's not that moe, but
Alright, so while we're on the topic, so what's your favorite like genre of shows, Misty?
Definitely leads into like the romance drama type thing, as well as like slice of life, just the simple stuff. Like, I do like action and adventure type things. Like Fate is easily one of my favorite series, but I'm a sucker for the cute slice of life romance type stuff as well.
Okay, so when you say slice of life, you mean like the cutesy stuff, like K-On!, Non Biori, stuff like that, right?
Yeah. I haven't seen Non
Not like
yet,
the-
but
Not like the more like mature stuff, like
a big one.
Mushishi.
A big one for me is like Hidamari Sketch is a very prime example of the kind of thing that I just love so much. Like, it's got cute characters, it's got a simple story, just slice of life stuff that's just not really about anything. I dig that stuff. It's not my favorite, but that kind of stuff I just love.
The reason why I like this group of us is because a lot of our favorites contrast a lot. You guys, you like slice of life too, right?
Yeah, I like slice of life. Well, I would say I like more the type that's like, it's like slice of life drama instead of like just like the slice of life comedy kind of thing. It's like the slice of life where like somebody goes on a journey and like travels, like Mushishi or like Yokohama Kaidansha was the manga, I think. Like it's not about the comedy, it's more about like the themes and like
The story
that
behind
appear
it.
each episode. And because like there's not much story, I would say. It's more like it's like each episode there's like a different encounter that happens, like he does different things, but then it's like it's like it's I guess it's like the journey that they go through and like the story a little bit.
I think it's
But I
completely
still do like
it's completely different from like because I'm a big mecha fan. I don't think anyone else is here. I don't think, but
I like
doesn't bother
some
me.
mech, but like I haven't really gotten into it.
I don't like if I could say I don't prefer it unless they can pull out a story from Code Geass or your Rekka 7 or stuff like that.
again, that's the problem with mecha though, is that because Code Geass has set such a high standard, not many are gonna get anywhere near that. So they're all kind of pushed down and kind of forgotten about because of things like Code Geass. I mean, Code Geass is a masterpiece, but because of that, mechas are kind of pushed down the rank because nothing's gonna ever get anywhere near it.
For me, my favorite genres are, I guess, romance, action, and drama, tragedy, stuff like that. My first sub that I ever watched was Akame ga Kill. I was still new to anime, and Akame ga Kill, like, I didn't expect as much tragedy as it did. Like, it's like, let's kill off every single let's kill off every character. And I felt depressed watching it. I thought it was good though, and that was my first sub that kind of got me into liking subs more. I was the basic American who preferred dub over subbed or whatever. But yeah, I'm more, I guess, strict action romance. That's my favorite genres, action and romance, because for once I love fantastic animated fighting scenes. My favorite anime is Mirror Nikki because it does the romance and the action and moves it into a psychological thriller, and I loved it. I am rewatching it. It's perfect in my eyes. It's one of the most perfect animes ever. Also, I love Inonatsu de Madoru as a romance or Sakuso no pet Sakuso no pet Nakanojo. I can't pronounce anything. Sorry. But again, Mirror Nikki, and if I had to say my favorite action anime ever is Code Geass, but that is the richest story I've ever that is the richest story I've ever watched, and they have special places in my heart.
It's Code Geass is one of those, especially the ending. I know I'll try and keep spoiler free because not everyone's watched it, but the ending towards Code Geass is one of the most well done things I think I've ever seen in any form of media. Never mind just anime in general, just media in general. It is fantastic, and if people haven't watched it, I highly recommend go and watch it.
It's one of those shows where you want to stand up and
clap. Yeah,
it's just that was one thing that not many people, barely anyone, can do. That ending was I'm gonna use the term, but it was a chess game that was entertaining. And it was such a
the final checkmate is very impactful, so you can't help but just stand up.
That messed me up. I've said it so many times that it messed me up in my mind. I had to go take a shower and go to sleep. I couldn't function after that. That was to go through that journey of I didn't like it at first. I didn't like the animation. I thought it was weird, the mecha, whatever. But after 5 to 6 episodes, I started binging it, and every death, I literally probably teared up a couple times, a total of 4 to 5 times, because there were so many. The side characters' deaths were very important, especially the ending of the first season, which was such a jaw dropper too. It was just so good, so good.
And
I wish there was more like it.
The chess game as well, about the chess game part, is that it's the winner, the person who wins the chess game, has nearly every single move, apart from a couple of occasions, he has every move planned out before the end, before he gets perfect checkmate.
And it's the viewer can't see it, though. The viewer cannot see his plan. So the main character's plan is literally revealed to you at the end.
Yeah.
And that's why I thought. See, now that he brought that up, that is like that really messes with me more because like we were in the blind the entire time of the entire last season. We were in the blind. Like you didn't know much of his plans. You didn't know what was it was just really well done.
Oh, this praise makes me feel like I need to finish it now.
You Misty, you need
Well,
to.
yes, you need to
Yes.
finish it.
Yes, you
I've
do.
seen 5 episodes. I will get around to it. It made me a believer in mech, like that could be good, even though it doesn't really get too much into the mech stuff in the first 5 episodes. Like you see a little bit, but not a whole lot. I'll get into it because it's one of those like you gotta watch it. It's a must see sort of thing, and I need to get around to it.
It's probably on that list
I
with
feel
like.
Mecha.
Go on.
Sorry, but I feel like mecha as a genre, it's not just about like the
Robots.
robots, the giant robots they ride in, because like a lot of mecha is like built on Gundam, and Gundam was very famous for not only like the mecha, like the robots, but also for like the drama and like the politics
Yeah.
on like behind it. And I feel like Code Geass did that really well. It wasn't like just like the mech. It was
Yeah.
like the politics behind like him being like an heir to like the Britannia throne, and then like having to deal with like being in Japan that was like
It's
a colony that was like conquered by the empire, and like having to deal with like all the politics in the royal family and like people getting murdered and stuff. It was really well done.
I believe mechas or the mech genres, like when it says mechs, I believe it shouldn't focus on the robots. I feel like it should focus on the story which with the robots take, where the they're called robot. What do you say robots? I don't know. Mechanized,
You call them robots.
humanoid
suits.
looking
Dumb robots.
robots.
It's like mechanized mobile suits.
Mobile suits, basically. That's what I loved about Code Geass because it didn't focus on the robots, but the robots had okay, I'm gonna get mad at myself for saying it, but the mechanized humanoid looking
The
robo
mech,
suits,
the
the
mech.
mechs, basically, weren't the focus of the anime,
Mm-hmm.
but they were important to the anime with how the story ended up, with all the events, the key events that happened, with a lot of the deaths. It was very important, but it wasn't the main focus.
There's a lot of love for Clamp stuff in this little introduction. CCS,
Yo.
CCS, and Code Geass.
Anybody watch Chobits?
I still need to watch
try it out?
Chobits. I still need
I
to
watched
watch
a couple
that.
episodes. It's pretty cute. But why do you say mate? See, oh, okay, yeah. It's cute. It's a weird romance anime.
So since we're on Clamp, let me add in a Clamp that is slice of life. Kobato. Anybody watch that?
Oh, I need to start that. I do need to start that one. I want to very badly.
Like Kobato isn't like the average slice of life comedy. It's not like for cute girls just doing random stuff. It's like this one girl who is like sent into the town where like she has to like basically go around and help people out. So each episode she finds like somebody who has like a problem, and she tries to help that person out. And like that's really like the kind of slice of life I'm into.
Yeah,
Where it's like
I waited. I was gonna watch it a long time ago, but I didn't right away because I learned that like a lot of characters that are from like Holic and Tsubasa Chronicles and whatnot. Even though Tsubasa Chronicles is kind of the Cardcaptor Sakura characters mostly.
yeah.
But like it involved them, and I wasn't sure if
No,
I
no,
really
no.
needed to watch it.
Here's the thing about Climb though, like the crossover characters, like sometimes when like there's like an author of like two different things, sometimes the character designs look similar. It's like Clamp does it like on purpose, like the characters look the same, and like sometimes they cross over like the same characters, but like almost all of them, like as far as I know, it doesn't matter kind of thing. In Kobato, like
Hello?
you see people.
Oh,
What's up?
Nothing. It was some lag,
Oh?
but anyways, yeah, we can hear you. You're saying Blue?
Yeah, sorry. So in most cases, as far as I know, like even though you see like some crossover, like none of it matters to the story. So you can start watching Kobato even without knowing any other clan characters. You can start watching Cardcaptor Sakura without knowing any other clan characters. Like I think that shouldn't be like the thing that stops you from watching it.
Holic and Tsubasa tie in a little too much to not watch
Okay,
them,
that's
though.
I think that's the exception. I
Yeah,
think that's the exception.
like
yeah.
CCS, like Card Captor Sakura stands on its own. Like it does not necessarily have to tie directly into anything. You can only see the tie-ins if you start to watch other stuff, or they're only become more obvious at least. But yeah, Holic and Tsubasa, like they rely on each other quite a lot. Like I'm not way far into it, but I started reading the manga versions of each of them a while back, and there's like this like suggested order of like read these chapters of this one, now switch over to the other and read these chapters,
Damn.
because they directly like cross over, like going parallel with each other.
That's a nightmare to that. I feel like that's a bit of a nightmare to like go through though.
It can be, especially because they're both pretty long. They're like both like 200 plus chapters or whatever, and then they have like another series after that are both currently ongoing.
But respect that they can pull it off for being that.
Clamp is a
confusing.
great studio. They have some odd looking character designs and art styles if you go way back. Like if you look at like the Holic anime, they kind of look a little weird, a little gangly and stuff. But like, but other than that, they're a great studio. I love them to death.
Oh, not studio. They're like authors, a group of authors.
Yeah.
I think
But, yeah.
I think everybody here. I don't know about you, Ryan, but we all have like I know me, Blue, and Misty for sure have a sweet spot for cutesy, adorable.
Depends on who it is.
Well, sometimes I get fed up, and you can ask Blue that I literally would be like, "Okay, can someone die already?"
Yeah.
Especially in the manga.
Every so often you just go, that character, can you just die, please?
Entire Gakko Garage, I was like, "Please, someone die already."
But have you tried watching any cutesy slice of life, Ryan?
Not really. It's not. I'm more into, well, obviously mechas, but I'm also more into action stuff. So I generally tend to stay away from cutesy sort of things.
But like when I say cutesy, I mean not only slice of life, but like cutesy romances too. Sakura-san and Pet Kanojo. Okay.
I've watched
anime
that.
That anime made me cry. Okay, that anime is the only one that has actually made me cry multiple tears. And I like other cutesy stuff too, like Inonatsu Dimaru, which was like the happiest one of the happiest cute romances that I just enjoyed overall. Just to lay back and watch and enjoy, laugh at a couple of the jokes and stuff like that.
Yeah, like
And then
like calm slice of life I can get into, but when it comes to romance, like if it's nice and calm romance, that's cool too. But that's where I can really get into some drama stuff as well. Like I'm a bit of a drama buff. Like I wouldn't get into like soap operas and shit like that, but like Golden Time, one of my favorites.
yeah,
Also one of the heaviest in drama that I've ever seen. Like
especially the whole thing with amnesia, like when something happens, you feel like that character basically dies at one point.
Mm-hmm.
The thing we got with that as well is it seemed like the amnesia plot was there just to kind of drag it out. Because that's probably the only problem I have with Golden Time in general, because I think it's really, really good. But I think the amnesia plot was there just simply to drag it out an extra 7-8 episodes or so.
I think it was I think it was worth it though. So far it's been or the entire thing was worth it. Not so far. When I say so far, I mean because Blue, you haven't finished it, right?
No, I'm at episode 12.
It's worth it, Blue. Like I'm telling you, Golden Time, even if it feels like it's been dragged out quite a bit with the amnesia, and it's kind of like your basic drama tragedy that's new. They're trying to do something new. It seems basic.
Well, for me, so far, it felt like it didn't feel that it was there to drag things out. It felt more like a shortcut in writing. Like they wanted to do like him have to confront between his past and his self that is at the present.
as much as I like,
But then instead of having to deal with as an actual person would, it's like we'll take the shortcut of him having amnesia and having his ghost that's supposed to represent his past self, and his like present self.
As much as I love Golden Time, I will agree to a lot of things you say there. Like the amnesia is certainly the weakest part of it. It sort of exists just to be the driving force of many of the conflicts that happen in their relationship. Instead of coming up with some more like realistic personal things that could start up a lot of the conflict between them, they just kind of go to the amnesia. They pull something with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
I agree with that.
and like it could have been done a lot better, and if it was done better, this might be one of the only other like 10 out of 10s I'd ever give out. But everything else about it, if you just, I know it's kind of a big thing to ask, but if you just don't let the amnesia thing bother you too much, I love everything else it offers.
Yeah, I agree with that too. It's one of the animes where like I actually teared up, or it made me tear up too.
I fucking
whole-
cried.
Like it's
I
so,
nearly cried.
especially towards the end. It's so, I'm not gonna spoil it, but it gets very emotional, and it puts a toll on you because you think it's gonna be all happy and you know it's gonna whatever, but it's actually, I don't know, I'm gonna say the amnesia actually takes an effect on you, and if you don't like Hinao Blue, I feel like it will mess with you if you care about the characters and like the characters enough.
Well, the romance in it is probably the most strongest part of it, I think.
Mm-hmm.
While the amnesia is quite a dragged out concept, I think it does help add to the romance between the two main characters. Well, between Coco
Again,
Well,
I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say
it doesn't help that I have a weak spot for like the childhood friend in like every romance show.
the best
Yeah.
girl.
So that,
okay, the best girl. I was
The best girl never
dude,
wins.
I was
Like,
saying
I can
that.
see
It's
it
like,
from now.
that's why I was
Like,
actually.
she's not gonna win.
The best girl never wins, and I'm just waiting for an anime where the best girl does win.
High
but-
School DxD.
No.
To love or you, everybody wins.
Speak.
I was
I
saying,
believe.
when I say best girl, I want an anime that's gonna be like, oh yeah, the best girl's not gonna win, but then it like plot twist, she does win. You know, something like that.
I would have
like,
loved to see that from Sakura. So
Yeah, okay. Fight
Oh my god,
fight
Sakura
me.
so
Fight
too.
me.
That was so painful.
It was so painful, but I loved both of them like equally.
No.
I feel like the
No.
wrong choice
Nope.
was made.
Yep.
You know what?
Mistakes were made.
Too bad it's not a visual
Mistakes were
novel.
made.
Too bad it's not a visual novel, and you can't load back like a recent save and be like, "Nah, I'm gonna choose something else." You're gonna have to get stuck with the main heroine, the adorable, cute main heroine.
Sakura So's harem ending. I would be into that.
But like, okay, in Sakura, so it's not just like the choice that was made. Like I had some problems with Sheena, but then like Mashiro.
Mashiro, yeah.
I think that's her given name. Yeah, and but like I would have been fine with Mashiro ending up with Sorata if the previous episodes wasn't Sorata spending time with Nanami over like her becoming like a voice actress and like dealing with like their past and stuff like that. Like I felt like those episodes should have focused on Mashiro, and then like given the ending, like given more time for like to develop the romance between Mashiro and Sorata, and then give us like the ending where they are together and stuff.
I actually gave Sakura no Nakanojo a 10 out of 10 just because I thought it. I don't know. When I say 10 out of 10, maybe that's just me, like my happy and enjoyment of this anime blinding me from some of the other some
Faults.
faults in it. Yeah, but again, the side characters were like perfect in it. Like these side
They were
characters,
really well done.
they were so well done. They were in my opinion, they were the best side characters I've seen ever so far.
Mm-hmm.
And
Like the romance between the side characters was better than the romance between the main
yes,
characters.
yes,
Yeah.
I had to say that. Maybe
Yeah.
that was maybe that was the fault, the biggest fault that it had. But I thought the romance.
I don't think it's a fault though. I mean,
it's good. Like I don't think the romance was that bad. I thought it was a little almost forced, a little pushed, because they gotta it's basically a lot of other romances. Like, oh yeah, here's at the end you get the trophy girlfriend or whatever, happy ending, you kiss, blah blah blah. It's like basically like that. But
mhm.
with the side character, it's you get so invested with each character, and that's why it's such an emotional anime, especially with the graduation ceremony. It's so emotional.
Yeah, that speech
Like each one
was really
stepped
well
up
done.
and started finishing the speech or whatever. It's like I can't take this anymore. It was so good.
I
Another-
enjoyed it, but I would have liked it a lot more if like I would have even liked the end more if like Mashiro had any character at all. Like like to me, like not to ruffle feathers for anyone that does like her, but her character comes down to just playing off of the main character's personality and like reacting to things that he or anyone else like says or does.
And Sakura Sawyer saying,
Yeah. She doesn't really have much of a character herself. It's more like
that
she's
was because that was supposed to be it, though. That was like the whole purpose was
Mm-hmm.
because she was supposed to be a blank slate, not really know how to function as a human, especially since he had to dress her every day,
Mm-hmm.
and feed her too. She was basically the pet.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why I liked it too, because she didn't need much of a character. She just needed to create her own personality, I guess, like
I think
learn
that's fair to say in the beginning, but I feel like as the show went on, she needed like development
She didn't grow much
as
as
a
a
character.
per-
She needed
character.
to like earn or get like a personality.
Okay, yeah, that was the biggest problem I had with it. I think she needed to grow more as a character.
Mm-hmm. It's
Like-
tough to really feel attached to a relationship like that when they don't have character.
Just for me, because I ship everything. Okay, I ship too much. I ship everything. I ship characters that aren't like supposed to end up. I ship it, but
Half of them end up like the Titanic.
oh, anyways, if you like, I don't know. To me, if you make the character cute enough and make her enjoyable enough, you'll be fine with it. You'll like enjoy it much. You'll get almost as invested as you would if her personality wasn't as deep.
Yeah.
Great.
Alright, I think we've talked enough about romance. Is there
Yeah.
anything else?
yeah,
Favorite genre
We're almost
that
at
isn't
40
romance?
minutes here.
Okay, action. Like again, romance and action. I love the blend, but I also like them separately. I don't know. I want to say the Fate Stay and Unlimited Blade Works was basically separate most of the time.
Fate.
Until-
I think Fate Stay Unlimited Blade Works kind of. I think it focuses more on action more than
Yeah.
romance, but I think that works in its favor because the animation is absolutely beautiful.
The end fight in that freaking anime was like with the OST. The OST was fantastic.
It was.
But like with the end fight against Gilgamesh. Oh, spoiler, whatever, Gilgamesh.
Spoiler warning.
Probably
Warning,
gonna
you
want to
have
include
3
one at the
minutes,
beginning of this.
like- Yeah, like
Emiya versus
Like,
Gilgamesh. It was like with the OST was the best epic, like the most epic fight I've ever seen. I still believe that is the most epic fight I've ever seen. And watching as the character grew, Emiya, into like learning how to use magic when he didn't believe he had the ability to use magic.
Yeah.
And like basically him hurting himself, killing himself by forcing his body to do something that it doesn't want to do was just, I loved it.
The great thing about Unlimited Blade Works as well is because has anyone here watched the original that was based off the Fate route that was released?
yeah,
years
I
ago?
watched it.
I have not seen.
It's
I
been a
have not
while
seen the
ago.
original, but I've
I
played
think
the Fate
I
route,
think that's
so.
quite a poor representation of the route because it's kind of slow paced and dull, whereas Unlimited Blade Works is done 10 times better.
It's super fast. Like, the whole Berserker's death scene really caught me off guard. Like, I didn't expect a player to be out like that. Especially with, I thought Berserker and what's the girl's name? Her master.
Right. Oh.
Or his
Berserker.
master.
Ilya.
Ilya's
Ilya.
Field?
Ilya. I didn't expect,
Ilya.
to get her heart ripped out almost instantly after the fight. And I thought Berserker was going to be like this super big, great comeback. But, he died. He came back. He died again. And then she died.
That's
Basically is
that's
what
kind of
happened.
the difference though between all the routes because all the characters are they have some similarities, but they're all very different because it's 3 routes, so they're all very different in all of them. So while he dies in one, it's different in another. It works different ways.
Just
And
anyway,
like
go ahead.
in the visual novel, it really felt like it wasn't just the roots. I mean, they weren't just like 3 different stories that are told with like the same characters. It really felt like it was like 3 different roots, but it had like an overarching story between them, which was like Emiya and like the main character. And then it's like, and that's why like on some routes, like some characters get more screen time and like more development, but while on other routes, like they get like a bit shafted because their development is already done in the other route. So
That is-
it's
That's
hard
why
to see
I'm quite
in the
looking
animated
forward to,
adaptation, but if
Yeah, I feel you. Like, well, just for me, who hasn't read the visual novels or gone through it, I want to, and I don't want to. It's like, I'm happy with the way Fate and the Blade Works ended, but also the other routes, I would also be happy, like going through Saber's route, because I love Saber to death. Although I do think Rinna is the best girl there is. And I also like.
Heaven's Feel is the best route though. Heaven's Feel is the best route.
100% agreed. It
I
is
think
perfect.
Saber is the cutest girl ever in like a normal outfit.
Saber
You
is
just
I
know no
remember-
Sakura,
I
man.
remember messaging you, Blue, like,
Once
yo,
you watch Heaven's Feel,
I think it's just, I think overall, it's a, like, action anime for me has a sweet spot, especially like Guilty Crown, Attack on Titan. I still one of my favorites. Yes, everybody can hate me, but Attack on Titan is on my favorites. I love it. The animation, the fighting, the voices, the OST, the opening, the ending.
I don't
it's all
think
good.
I don't think it's hate. I think the problem with it is that it got so much hype that people, you know, it was kind of seen like a everyone jump on the hype. It's a really good show. It's just
Yeah, I
that
think it's because it's mainstream. People have a problem with people have a problem with trusting people's opinions if they like something so mainstream. You know what I mean? Like they won't be like, oh, these guys don't have really good taste or whatever they do. These guys are like they're just basic anime watchers,
oh,
whatever.
they're just elitist assholes.
Yeah,
Just
it's
ignore
like-
them.
It just Attack on Titan has did what it did really well. Good animation, good music, good sound. Good
one of the
whatever.
best
It just-
openings in anime.
Gurren no Yumiya, was it Gurren no Yumiya? Was that it?
Yeah.
So, oh my god, like opening. Anyways, but yeah, we all share similar interests, and you'll see more of us than just us four. We have a group of 8 or so. Only us 4 were available today. I'm Hunter,
Misty, Mystifier.
I'm Ryan.
Blue here.
and this has been Sugoi Cast.